Hello students, today we will be studying Chapter 5, Integer Programming. So we will be skipping Chapters 3 and 4 dahil yung mga chapters na ito ay nangangailangan ng computer solutions for linear programming models, more complex linear programming models. At I understand na sa ating mga estudyante, kayong mga estudyante ko, hindi naman lahat kayo ay may desktop or laptop computers. At para hindi na lang tayo magastusan o maabala pa sa panghihiram o pag nakikigamit pa ng mga computer dahil nga nasa pandemic tayo, nandun tayo sa sariling mga tahanan natin, para maiwasan din natin yung mga peligro sa kalusugan. So I will be skipping chapters 3 and 4. We will proceed with chapter 5. Introduction. In the linear programming models formulated and solved in the previous chapters, the implicit assumption was that solutions could be fractional or real numbers. For example, non-integer. Kasi pag sinabi nating integer, ito yung mga numbers na kagaya ng 1.05, 1.26. So meron silang tinatawag na fraction. Hindi sila mga natural numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Meron silang 0.26, 0.17. Yan yung tinatawag nating non-integer numbers. Okay, so yung mga nakalipas nating mga pinag-aralan, lagi kasing merong mga fraction. 7.4 chairs, 6.25 computers, ganyan yung mga sinasagot natin eh. However, non-integer solutions are not always practical. When only integer solutions are practical or logical, it is sometimes assumed that non-integer solution values can be rounded off to the nearest feasible integer values. This method would cause little concern if, for example, x1 is equal to 8,000.4 nails were rounded off to 8,000 nails because nails cost only a few cents a piece. So wala naman daw problema kung ang ira-round off natin itong mga pako, 8,000.4 na pako, pwede naman nating i-round off ng 8,000 na pako. Kasi wala namang diferensya yung 0.4. However, if we are considering the production of jet aircraft and x sub 1 is equal to 7.4 jet airliners, rounding off could affect profit or cost by millions of dollars. Kasi yung 0.4 doon, halos kalahati na ng isang jetliner. Magkano ang isang jetliner? $100 million. So, kung 0.4, that's about $40 million. At isa pa, makakapagbenta ka ba ng 7.4? Pitot kalahating jetliner, walang ganun, ano? So in the real sense, hindi ka basta-basta makakapag-round off. Kaya actually itong tinatawag natin na integer programming, mas makatotohanan to actually kaysa dun sa tinatawag nating regular linear programming. In this case, we need to solve the problem so that an optimal integer solution is guaranteed. In this chapter, the different forms of integer linear programming models are presented. Integer programming models. There are three basic types of integer linear programming models. First is a total integer model. Second is a 0-1 integer model. And a mixed integer model. Number 1, in a total integer model, all the decision variables are required to have integer solution values. Number 2, in a 0-1 integer model, all the decision variables have integer values of 0 or 1. Either 0 o kaya 1 ang sagot mo. Number 3, finally, in a mixed integer model, some of the decision variables, but not all, are required to have integer solutions. The following three examples demonstrate these types of integer programming models. So magkakaroon tayo ng mga example. Number 1, a total integer model example. The owner of a machine shop is planning to expand by purchasing some new machines, presses, and lathes. The owner has estimated that each press purchased will increase profit by $100 per day, and each lathe will increase profit by $150 daily. The number of machines the owner can purchase is limited by the cost of the machines and the available floor space in the shop. The machine purchase prices and space requirements are as follows. So for the two machines, presses and lathes, so for the required floor space for press, for each press is 15 square feet, and the purchase price is $8,000. For lathe, 30 square feet and $4,000. The owner has a budget of $40,000 for purchasing machines and 200 square feet of available floor space. The owner wants to know how many of each type of machine to purchase to maximize the daily increase in profit. The linear programming model for an integer programming problem is formulated in exactly the same way as the linear programming examples in Chapter 2. So parehas lang yung kung paano yung pagsosolve kung paano yung pagsosolve ng integer programming, ganun din yung pagsosolve dun sa mga nauna nating example noon. The only difference is that in this problem, the decision variables are restricted to integer values because the owner cannot purchase a fraction or portion of a machine. Kasi hindi ka naman pwedeng bumili ng kalahating press o kalahating lathe. Walang ganon, ano? Parang kumbaga, para maipanganak mo ang bata, para hindi mahirapan yung nanay, chachap-chapin mo ba yung baby para lang maipanganak siya? Walang ganon. It's as impossible sa pagbili ng unless it is a junk shop, pero pagdating sa integer programming, hindi pwedeng may fraction, walang pabili nga po ng isa't kalahating machine, walang ganon, The linear programming model follows. Okay, so maximize z is equal to 100x1 plus 150x2 subject to 8000x1 plus 4000x2 is lesser than or equal to $40,000. Okay, so that's the budget constraint. Tapos 15x1 plus 30x2 is lesser than or equal to 200 square feet. So that's the space constraint, where x1 and x2 is lesser than or equal to 0 and integer, where x1 is equal to number of presses and x2 is equal to number of lathes. Okay. The decision variables in this model are restricted to whole machines. The fact that both decision variables x1 and x2 can assume any integer value greater than or equal to 0 is what gives this model its designation as a total integer model. Number 2, a 0-1 or 0 or 1 integer model example. A community council must decide which recreation facilities to construct in its community. 4 new recreation facilities have been proposed: a swimming pool, a tennis center, an athletic field, and a gymnasium. The council wants to construct facilities that will maximize the expected daily usage by the residents of the community, subject to land and cost limitations. The expected daily usage and cost and land requirements for each facility follow. So, meron tayong 4 na recreation facility. X1 is swimming pool, X2 is tennis center, X3 is athletic field, X4 is gymnasium. So, yung una, yung usage constraint. Okay? So, para sa swimming pool, 300 people per day. Tennis center, 90 people per day. Athletic field, 400 people per day. Gymnasium, 150 people per day. So, yung cost constraint, ang budget ay $35,000 for the swimming pool, $10,000 for the tennis center, $25,000 for the athletic field, $90,000 for the gymnasium. Tapos yung land requirements, acres. Ano yata to? Ang alam ko, pagkakaalam ko sa acre is kalahating hektarya. So, 4 acres for swimming pool, 2 acres for tennis center, 7 acres for athletic field, tapos 3 acres for gymnasium. The community has a $120,000 construction budget and 12 acres of land. Because the swimming pool and tennis center must be built on the same part of the land parcel, however, only one of these 2 facilities can be constructed. The council wants to know which of the recreation facilities to construct to maximize the expected daily usage. So dito, hindi pwedeng sabay na gawin yung swimming pool at saka yung tennis center. Isa lang ang pwede mong gawin sa mga to, either a swimming pool or a tennis center. Kaya siya tinawag na 0-1 integer model example. Either gagawin mo yung isa o hindi mo siya gagawin. Ano? It's either 0 or 1. So, the model for this problem is formulated as follows. So, ito nga, no? Maximize z is equal to 300x1 plus 90x2 plus 400x3 plus 150x4. So, subject to 35,000x1 plus 10,000x2 plus 25,000x3 plus 90,000x4 is lesser than or equal to 120,000. So, next, constraint 4x1 plus 2x2 plus 7x3 plus 3x4 is lesser than or equal to 12 acres. Where x1 plus x2 is lesser than or equal to 1 facility. Okay? 1 facility. And then, para hindi maging ambiguous yung answer, walang fraction, x1 and x2 or x3 or x4 is equal to 0 or 1. Where x1 is equal to construction of a swimming pool, x2 is equal to construction of a tennis center, x3 is equal to construction of an athletic field, and then x4 is equal to construction of a gymnasium. In this model, the decision variables can have a solution value of either 0 or 1. If a facility is not selected for construction, the decision variable representing it will have a value of 0. If a facility is selected, its decision variable will have a value of 1. The last constraint, x1 plus x2 is lesser than or equal to 1, reflects the contingency that either the swimming pool, x1, or the tennis center, x2, can be constructed, but not both. Kasi hindi pwedeng 0.5 yung x1. Hindi pwedeng 0.5 yung x2 para maging 1. It's either 1 yung x1 or 0 yung x1. Ganun din sa x2. Either 1 yung x2 or 0 yung x2. Either gagawin mo yung swimming pool o yung tennis center lang. Hindi pwedeng dalawa. In order for the sum of x1 and x2 to be less than or equal to 1, either of the variables can have a value of 1 or both variables can equal 0. This is also referred to as a mutually exclusive constraint. So, ang tawag dito sa constraint na to is mutually exclusive constraint. So, dito sa ating presentation ngayon, inaaral din natin yung iba't ibang klase ng constraint. So, this first set of constraint is called a mutually exclusive constraint. If the community had specified that either the swimming pool or the tennis center must be built, but not both, then the last constraint would become an equation. x1 plus x2 is equal to 1. This would result in a solution that would include x1 is equal to 1 or x2 is equal to 1, but both would not equal 1, nor would both equal 0. In this manner, the model forces a choice between the two facilities. For this reason, it is often called a multiple choice constraint. Okay, so ngayon baka magtanong kayo, ano ang pinagkaiba ng mutually exclusive constraint sa multiple choice constraint? Ang pinagkaiba ng mutually exclusive constraint sa multiple choice constraint, sa mutually exclusive constraint, hindi mo kailangan gawin either yung swimming pool or yung tennis center. Pwedeng wala kang gawin sa mga yon. Pwedeng hindi mo gagawin altogether ang swimming pool, hindi ka gagawa ng tennis center. Pwede rin na swimming pool lang or tennis center lang ang gagawin mo. At hindi rin pwedeng yung dalawa. Pagdating naman sa multiple choice constraint, kailangan meron kang gagawin dun sa dalawa. Either kailangan mong gawin ang tennis center o kailangan mong gawin yung swimming pool. Hindi pwedeng wala kang gagawin. Dun sa mutually exclusive constraint, pwedeng wala kang gawin eh. Kaya nga lesser than or equal to 1. Pwedeng 0. Pwedeng wala kang gawin. Pwedeng hindi mo gawin yung swimming pool o yung tennis center. Pero dun sa multiple choice constraint, kailangan meron kang gagawin na isa. Okay? Kasi kung wala kang gagawin, paano magiging equal to 1 yung x1 plus x2? 0 is equal to 1? Hindi po pwede yun, ha? Kaya tinawag siyang multiple choice constraint. Kumbaga sa magsing irog, mamili ka, siya o ako. Ganun yun. Ano? Mamili ka, tennis center o swimming pool. So, yun yung multiple choice constraint. Yun yung pinagkaiba ng mutually exclusive constraint at multiple choice constraint. A variation of the multiple choice constraint can be used to formulate a situation in which some specific number of facilities out of the total must be constructed. For example, if the community council had specified that exactly 2 of the 4 facilities must be built, this constraint would be formulated as x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 is equal to 2. So, kailangan dalawa ang kailangan mong gawin. It's either a gymnasium, it's either a swimming pool, it's either a tennis center, tapos yung isa pa, ano? Kailangan dalawa, hindi pwedeng isa lang, hindi pwedeng wala kang gagawin, kailangan dalawa. If alternately the council had specified that no more than 2 facilities must be constructed, okay, the constraint would be x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 is lesser than or equal to 2. Pwedeng dalawa, pwedeng isa lang. Okay? Pwedeng wala. Ano? Pero hindi ka pwedeng lumampas ng dalawa. Okay? So, itong dalawang to, these are the variation of multiple choice constraint. Another type of 0-1 model constraint is a conditional constraint. Okay? Ito naman, conditional constraint naman ang pangalan. In a conditional constraint, the construction of one facility is conditional upon the construction of another. Ang ibig sabihin nun, pag hindi mo pwedeng gawin ito kung hindi mo gagawin ito. Okay? So, halimbawa, hindi mo pwedeng gawin yung tennis center kung hindi mo gagawin yung swimming pool. Okay? Suppose, for example, that the pet project of the head of the community council is the swimming pool, and she also believes the tennis center is frivolous. So, mas nananabik yung head of the community council sa paggawa ng swimming pool. Hindi masyadong appealing sa kanya yung paggawa ng tennis center. So, the council head is very influential, so the rest of the council knows that the tennis center has no chance of being selected if the pool is not selected first. Kung hindi gagawin yung swimming pool, hindi gagawin yung tennis center. Hindi pwedeng maunang gawin yung tennis center. So, ganyan yung conditional constraint. However, even if the pool is selected, there is no guarantee that the tennis center will also be selected. Thus, the tennis center X2 is conditional upon construction of the swimming pool. Magagawa lang ang tennis center kung gagawin muna ang swimming pool. At kung magkagayon man, magawa yung swimming pool, hindi nangangahulugan na gagawin din yung tennis center. This condition is formulated as x sub 2 is lesser than or equal to x sub 1. Okay, so ano na yung mga natutunan natin ng mga constraint? Yung una, mutually exclusive constraint. Yung pangalawa, multiple choice constraint. Okay, so iba't ibang example din yung binigay sa multiple choice constraint. May tatlong example ng multiple choice constraint. And then, itong pangatlo, conditional constraint. Notice that the tennis center cannot equal 1 unless the pool equals 1. If the pool equals 0, then the tennis center must also equal 0. However, this condition does allow the pool to equal 1 and be selected, and the tennis center to equal 0 and not be selected. Kumbaga parang nag-aaral tayo ng logic dito eh. Okay? If x1, then x2. If no x1, then no x2. If x1, pwedeng wala ring x2. Okay? A variation of this type of conditional constraint is the corequisite constraint. So, meron ding variation itong conditional constraint wherein if one facility is constructed, the other one will also be constructed and vice versa. For example, the council worked out a political deal among themselves wherein if the pool is accepted, the tennis center must also be selected and vice versa. This constraint is written as x2 is equal to sub 1. Halimbawa, nagkaroon ng pag-uusap yung mga board members. Sabi nila, pag pinili naman natin yung swimming pool, gagawin din natin yung tennis center. So, either of the two, pag ginawa yung isa, gagawin yung isa. Pag ginawa rin yung isa, pag ginawa yung swimming pool, gagawin yung tennis center. Pag pinili yung tennis center, gagawin yung swimming pool. So, this is a variation of conditional constraint. Ang tawag dito ay corequisite constraint. This constraint makes x1 and x2 equal the same value, either 0 or 1. So, ang ibig sabihin nito, kung hindi ginawa ang tennis center, hindi rin gagawin ng swimming pool. Pag hindi ginawa yung swimming pool, hindi rin gagawin yung tennis center. Number 3, a mixed integer model example. Nancy Smith has $250,000 to invest in 3 alternative investments: condominiums, land, and municipal bonds. She wants to invest in the alternatives that will result in the greatest return on investment after 1 year. Each condominium costs $50,000 and will return a profit of $9,000 if sold at the end of 1 year. Each acre of land costs $12,000 and will return a profit of $1,500 at the end of 1 year. And each municipal bond costs $8,000 and will result in a return of $1,000 if sold at the end of 1 year. Ang ibig kasing sabihin ng municipal bond, okay, halimbawa ang isang munisipyo, ang isang barangay, magpapagawa sila ng tinatawag natin na sabihin na nating basketball court. Pero walang budget kasi yung barangay. Ngayon sa taon na yon, wala ring maibibigay na budget yung gobyerno o yung local government para dun sa barangay na yon. Ang mangyayari, maaari silang manghiram ng pera sa isang private person or private organization. And bilang sukli sa kanilang panghihiram, syempre, babayaran nila yon, ibabalik nila yung pera in a year or 2 with interest. So, ang tawag dun ay municipal bond. Each municipal bond costs $8,000 and will result in a return of $1,000 if sold at the end of 1 year. In addition, there are only 4 condominiums, 15 acres of land, and 20 municipal bonds available for purchase. So, ang ibig sabihin nitong a mixed integer model example, okay, itong mixed integer model, yung condominium, okay, hindi ka pwedeng magkaroon ng answer na 4.5 condominiums. Makakapagbenta ka ba ng condominium na 4 at kalahati? 3 and 3/4? Walang ganon. It's either 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay? Pero pagdating dun sa 15 acres of land, pwede mo actually hati-hatiin yun. Pwede ka magbenta ng may fraction. Pwedeng 7.5 acres of land. Pwedeng 3 and 1/4 acres of land. Kasi lupa yun. Pwede mo siyang hati-hatiin. Pagdating mo naman sa 20 municipal bonds, hindi mo rin naman pwedeng paghati-hatiin yun. Hindi pwedeng magkaroon ng fractional answer. Hindi pwedeng 16.5 bonds, 14 and 3/4. Hindi pwedeng ganon. It's either 1, 2, 3, 4 hanggang 20 municipal bonds. Kaya siya tinawag na mixed integer model. So the linear programming model for this problem is formulated as follows. Maximize z is equal to 9,000x1 plus 1,500x2 plus 1,000x3 subject to 50,000x1 plus 12,000x2 plus 8,000x3 is lesser than or equal to $250,000, where x1 is lesser than or equal to 4 condominiums, x2 is lesser than or equal to 15 acres, x3 is lesser than or equal to 20 bonds, where x2 is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, ano ba yung x2? Yung land yun, land. It should be greater than or equal to 0. X1 and x3 is greater than or equal to 0 and integer. Hindi pwedeng may tingi-tingi. Hindi pwedeng 4 at kalahating condominium, okay? 10 at kalahating bonds. Hindi pwede yun. Kaya siya tinawag na mixed integer model. Okay, so where x1 is equal to condominium, x2 is equal to acres of land, x3 is equal to bonds. Notice that in this model, the solution values for condominiums and municipal bonds must be integers. It is not possible to invest in a fraction of a condominium or to purchase part of a bond. Pabili nga po ng 3 at kalahating condominium. Hindi pwedeng ganon. However, it is possible to purchase less than an acre of land. Pwede naman kasing hati-hatiin yung lupa. Okay? Ano ba yung mga investments na divisible? Cash is divisible. Land is divisible. Okay? Ganon din yung mga tinatawag ng mga jewelry, kagaya ng gold. Those are divisible Pero yung kagaya ng mga assets na kagaya ng condominium, ng trucks, ng Xerox machine, hindi mo pwedeng ibenta ng ano lang yun, ng part. Kailangan buo. So thus the two of the decision variables x1 and x2 are restricted to integer values, whereas the other variable x2 can take on any real value greater than or equal to 0. Pwedeng hindi ka rin naman magbenta ng lupa Okay? So, integer programming graphical solution. It may seem logical that an easy way to solve integer programming problems is to round off fractional solution values to integer values. Yan yung una kasi nating iisipin eh. So, ang gawin na lang natin, halimbawa, nakuha natin 3.66 preses, kunwari, dun sa una nating sagot o una nating problem. So, gagawin na lang natin, i-round off na lang natin, gagawin nating 4. Okay? However, that can result in less than optimal, suboptimal results. Makikita natin mamaya kung bakit nagiging less than optimal result yun. This outcome can be seen by using graphical analysis. As an example, consider the total integer model for the machine shop formulated in the previous section. So, yan yung nauna nating example eh. Okay? So, integer programming graphical solution. So, we use Excel to solve this model as a regular linear programming model without the integer requirements, as shown in Exhibit 5.1. Kung gagamitan natin ng Excel, may computer solution kasi ang linear programming, pero because not all of the students have desktop or laptop computers that they can use to solve this model, we will just be presenting the answers as references in this presentation. Actually, kung mano-mano natin sasagutin ito, masasagot din naman natin. At ang masasagot natin ay 2.22 preses at saka 5.56 lats. Okay? Yun yung parang tinatawag natin na optimal solution without integer requirements. So, the profit is $1,055.56. Pero, pagdating sa integer programming, this is not the optimal solution. Notice that this model results in a non-integer solution of x1 is equal to 2.22 preses and x2 is equal to 5.56 lates. Because the solution values must be integers, let us first round off these two values to the closest integer values. Sir, i-round off na lang natin. Maaaring ganyan ang isasagot natin. Gawin na lang nating 2 yung x1, gawin na lang nating 6 yung x2. However, if we substitute these values into the second model constraint, we find that this integer solution violates the constraint and thus is feasible. Infeasible. Tingnan nyo 15x1 plus 30x2 is lesser than or equal to 200. Okay, substitute natin yung mga values. 15 times 2 plus 30 times 6. Is it lesser than or equal to 200? Hindi. Kasi 200 is not lesser than or equal to 200. 200 is greater than 210 is greater than 200. So, infeasible yung sagot na yon. Okay? Kaya hindi siya pwedeng maging optimal. Siguro sa regular linear programming, pwede. Pero, hindi pa rin kasi it violates the constraint. In a model in which the constraints are all lesser than or equal to, and the constraint coefficients are positive, a feasible solution is always ensured by rounding down. Thus, a feasible integer solution for this problem is x1 is equal to 2, x2 is equal to 5, z is equal to $950. So, kung ang constraint, gumagamit ng lesser than or equal to, Pwede. Pwede siyang maging feasible solution. However, one of the difficulties of simply rounding down non-integer values is that another integer solution may result in a higher profit. In this problem, there may be an integer solution that will result in a profit higher than $950. Meron pa ba? Pwede pa bang magkaroon ng solution na mas mataas pa sa profit na $950? Tingnan natin, ano? In order to determine whether a better integer solution exists, let us analyze the graph of this model, which is shown in figure 5.1. So, ayan yung figure 5.1. In fact, yung mga period na dyan, ano, those are representing possible solutions. In figure 5.1, the dots indicate integer solution points. And the point x1 is equal to 2, x2 is equal to 5, is the rounded down solution. Notice that as the objective function edge moves outward through the feasible solution space, there is an integer solution point that yields a greater profit than the rounded down solution. Actually, makikita lang natin to using graph. Okay, this solution point is x sub 1 is equal to 1, x sub 2 is equal to 6. Nakikita nyo ba yon? Yung point na malapit sa point A. Actually, pagdating sa integer programming, that is the optimal solution. Okay? At this point, z is equal to $1,000, which is $50 more profit per day for the machine shop than is realized by the rounded down integer solution. This graphical analysis explicitly demonstrates the error that can result from solving an integer programming problem by simply rounding down. Kasi alam ko, yun din ang iniisip nyo siguro, i-round off na lang natin yung sagot. Pero, pinapakita talaga ng graphical analysis na mali yun. Kasi can you imagine, $50 a day, okay, ang pwede mong idagdag kung gagamitan mo ng tinatawag natin na integer programming. Hindi ka nagra-round. Malaking bagay yun. Magkano yun? 2,500 or 2,000 pesos a day? 50? So, malaking 2,500 pesos a day, malaking bagay yun. So, maganda rin na gumagamit din ng mga solution na ganito. In the machine shop example, the optimal integer solution is x sub 1 is equal to 1, x sub 2 is equal to 6. Instead of the rounded down solution, x sub 1 is equal to 2, x sub 2 is equal to 5. Solution din naman ito eh. But this is often called the optimal solution or result. Because erroneous results are caused by rounding down regular solutions, a more direct approach for solving integer problems is required. And in fact, pagdating sa real world, mas kagamit-gamit yung tinatawag nating integer programming. The traditional approach for solving integer programming problems is the branch and bound method. It is a mathematical solution approach that can be applied to a number of different types of problems. The branch and bound method is based on the principle that the total set of feasible solutions, such as the feasible area in figure 5.1, can be partitioned into smaller subsets of solutions. But because itong branch and bound method, this is actually a mathematical solution. Medyo lumalayo na tayo pagdating natin sa as part of management science. So, we will not elaborate on this branch and bound method. These smaller subsets can then be evaluated systematically until the best solution is found. The branch and bound method is a tedious and often complex mathematical process. Fortunately, both Excel and QM, for Windows, have the capability to solve integer programming problems, and thus we will rely on the computer to solve the different types of integer models demonstrated in this chapter. Pero hindi natin gagawin yun kasi hindi naman lahat tayo may computer. At iniiwasan nga nating mahawaan ngayong pandemic. So, hindi muna natin pag-aaralan yung mga computer solution. But probably in the future, gagawa ako ng videos tungkol sa computer solutions. So, ayan yung solution ng 0-1 model using Microsoft Excel. So, Exhibit 5.6 shows the solution. X sub 1 is equal to 1 swimming pool. X2 is equal to 0 tennis center. Hindi na daw tayo gagawa ng tennis center. Pero gagawa tayo ng athletic field. At hindi na rin tayo gagawa ng gymnasium. Okay, parang napakasimple lang yung sagot, Pero actually, nangangailangan niya ng computer solution. So, X sub 1 is equal to 1 and X sub 3 is equal to 1. Where Z, the profit, would be equal to 700 people per day. Expected usage. Ito naman yung solution for the mixed integer model using Excel. So, Exhibit 5.13 shows the solution X sub 1 is equal to 4 condominiums. Okay, apat na daw, ibenta na natin lahat. X sub 2 is equal to 4.17 acres. Okay, out of the 15 acres na pwedeng ibenta, 4.17 na lang ang ating ibenta. Pero yung lahat ng condominium, ibenta natin lahat. Huwag tayong magbebenta ng bonds, 0 bonds. And we will have a profit of $42,250. In summary, in this chapter, we found that simply rounding off non-integer simplex solution values for models requiring integer solution is not always appropriate. Rounding can often lead to suboptimal results. Therefore, direct solution approaches using the computer are needed to solve the three forms of linear integer programming models: total integer models, 0-1 integer models, and mixed integer models. Having analyzed integer problems and the basic knowledge for solving them, we have now covered most of the basic forms of linear programming models and solution techniques. And that wraps up our study of Chapter 5, Integer Programming. So thank you for joining me in our lesson for today. I hope you learned a lot. So karamihan ng mga pinag-aralan natin ngayon ay theories. Next meeting, hopefully ang pag-aaralan natin yung tinatawag naman nating non-linear programming. Okay, so gagamitan na natin ng calculus yun. Okay, pero para sa ating mga quizzes, we will have more examples of mga pinagsama-samang mga problems sa linear programming, maximization at saka minimization, including model formulation para sa linear programming and model formulation for integer programming. Okay, God bless you and may you have a good day.